1, 2, 3, 4. What up, y'all? Babylon 5 Podcast, episode 64. Yes, she can. It's your boy, Jermaine Event, your faithful host. How are you doing on this? Well, it's Sunday today. You guys will get this tomorrow. But how are you guys doing regardless? Fuck that shit. How are you guys doing? It's a new day. It's episode 64, yes, she can. And let's just take a moment here.
Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump, y'all. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump, baby. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump, baby. 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 Fuck.
You know, we had a presidential election. So I'd say over the course of the past 4 years, I haven't been the most vocal about the shit that Donald Trump would do as president. Not because I didn't care, but for the most part because that whole lesser of two evils malarkey that they were trying to throw at us last time. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that. When that nonsense happened, and then I watched the 13th, I've talked about it here, watched the 13th documentary on Netflix. I was like, man, they all full of shit. There's no lesser of two evils here. It's just evil. And I chose not to vote. And in not voting, I wouldn't have voted for Hillary. I would have voted third party, as I said. But because I didn't vote, I chose to just stay out of it. For the most part, I tried not to complain. I would see all the things happening, and I'm like, man, this nigga's tripping. But I tried not to be too vocal because I didn't go to the polls. I took no part in it. It's like you could have tried to take part. I think that nigga won Wisconsin last time, so it's like you could have very easily tried to. As I'm counting, I'm looking at the numbers of saying to my wife, as I'm looking at these numbers and it's coming in, because, it took a few days before we got the results, I'm just like, fuck, I think every vote does count. I'm like, look at dude, I'm like, damn, low-key, I think every vote counts. So, hold on 1 second. So I try not to be too vocal about it because it's like, well, nigga, you ain't even vote. You know what I'm saying? But it was man, it was racist, homophobic, just nonsense, one after another. I had a friend of mine who reached out to me. It was the day before, a buddy from high school. He reached out to me the day before. Before the grump drops, I'm getting this shit ready, and he hits me up to be like, hey, man, I saw that you posted, a little while back that, if you support Donald Trump, delete me. And he's like, I just wanted to let you know that I vote for Donald Trump. He's voting for Donald Trump. He just wanted to let me know that. And, when he says this to me, and I think about, the court documents I read of, a 13-year-old girl talking about Donald Trump holding her down, beating her, raping her, saying, you know what I'm saying? This is what I think about when this fucking school teacher says to me he supports Donald Trump, and he just feels like Donald Trump is a man of the people. is what he would say to me. And I think about that 13-year-old girl describing the president of the United States beating and raping her. And I try to stay out of it because I didn't vote, but when things like that are in your face, like, how can you just, like, not say anything? So then, you know, I tried to, you know, say whatever I could. I tried to say things like, if you support this person, like, delete me. I can't comprehend how somebody can just ignore all this shit, you know? But I voted this time. President Joe Biden, President-elect Joe Biden, 46, 47? I don't know how this. Where are we? Joe Biden's president, and Auntie Kamala Harris, vice president, first female vice president ever, black woman, Asian descent or Indian, I'm not sure. I've been hearing some things.
Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump, y'all! Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump, baby! Fuck Donald Trump! Fuck Donald Trump, baby! 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 You're a stupid motherfucker embarrassing the whole country. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You little son of a bitch. You think you're just gonna get up in the morning and tweet out some bullshit? No one wants to hear it. No one wants to see it. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump.
Man, fuck that nigga. I'm so happy. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys social medias before I go any further. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod, where I do most of my live tweeting, most of my posting from each account. I'm most active from the at Babylon5Pod account. You can follow my personal accounts at my name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5Podcast. It's at Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. I hate just saying that first at. It sounds gross. At Babylon5Podcast@gmail.com. It just sounds weird. There's too many ats I'm throwing in there. But you can follow this podcast at Babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. If you got Xbox, go ahead and add a brother. My gamer tag is Sauce2Boss414. One of these days, you can watch me play with myself at twitch.tv/Babylon5. How about 5 niggas add me on Twitch, and then I'll announce a live stream in some fashion, maybe on Facebook. I mean, I don't put the Facebook here. I'll announce on Twitter. How about that? Go, and if you can, go check out the merchandise. Go to teespring.com/stores/BOF-pod-shop. I'll go check out the Boards line. I fuck with the Boards collection I got on there. I fucks with it. Don't be my Negro, be my patron. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. You can be my patrons today. Why not? You can see some cool shit. You'll get this episode as soon as I'm done recording it. I'm going to upload the audio to Patreon. So you could have it today. It doesn't have to be a Monday thing. You could have it right away if you're my patron. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod. And if you niggas is on TikTok, add a brother. Babylon5 Podcast is what it is on there. Before we get back into this election talk, just want to say rest in peace to Alex Trebek, host of Jeopardy. Yeah, Jeopardy. Pretty sure that's what it was. Damn, I feel like a poser. It's like he's that nigga though. I was just reading yeah, he's Jeopardy. He's a Jeopardy nigga. It was like it's either Wheel of Fortune or one of them niggas. It's one of them shows that your parents used to watch all the time back in the 90s. Remember when that shit was always on, like late night? Y'all be chilling. Maybe like after dinner, y'all just chilling, kicking it, family moments, watching Jeopardy or some shit. Y'all niggas know what I'm talking about. Stop hating. But rest in peace to Alex Trebek. That was like, as I'm saying, like, I'm going off on this whole tangent, and I'm like, I'm bringing it back to the rest in peace. I'm like, that sounds like a weird way to tribute. I just want to say, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Pretty wild. Oregon might be a little lit. Niggas might have to take the Oregon Trail, if you know what I'm talking about. Oregon might be too lit. They decriminalized drugs, if I'm not mistaken. It says Oregon, Oregon decriminalized drugs. Niggas can walk around with meth, heroin, cocaine. I believe up to a certain amount. It's not like you could just be like the nigga just out here slanging. You know what I'm saying? But you can have up to a certain amount, and then, like, I think if you have, like, maybe a little more than that, depending on the amount, you could have a fine up to, like, $100 or some shit from what I read. It's 100 or 150 or some shit like that. Which is like, damn, Oregon just might be too lit. But we were already planning a trip there, so we're not gonna not go to Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because they've legalized drugs, that doesn't scare me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna let you guys know what's going down in Oregon. We're gonna hit the old dusty trail to Oregon. Montana legalized marijuana. South Dakota legalized marijuana. Mississippi legalized medical marijuana. South Dakota legalized medical marijuana. Oregon also, I mean, they legalized drugs. I don't know what psilocybin therapy is. Does that mean, like, you go to a place and they're like, yo, nigga, you need to lay on this couch and eat these mushrooms and we'll talk about some shit? I don't know what psilocybin therapy is. I know my nigga Flamenco was telling me about, because he was a bartender and where we used to work, and he would say, like, some of the people that would come in would talk about microdosing, and they just, like, microdose every day, and it just, like, really, like, helps them out with, like, a lot of shit, anxiety, all kinds of nonsense. So maybe that's what it is when they're talking about psilocybin therapy. Maybe they're talking about a little bit of microdosing or some shit like that. But yeah, drugs are decriminalized in Oregon. Decriminalized. You can, Arizona has legalized marijuana. I'm just letting you guys know, if you see me on vacation in all these states, you know why. Washington, D.C. just decriminalized psychedelics, which is like, what is that, like acid capital now? I don't know. We'll have to find out. It's New Jersey just legalized marijuana. I don't know. I've never really had too much interest in visiting the East Coast, to be honest with you niggas. When I was younger, though, just being a hip-hop fan, I've always, like, wished I was from New York. You know what I'm saying? You heard how I just said that right there. Wished I was from New York. You know, I was a New Yorker. But I wasn't a New Yorker, so just, like, as a old school real rap fan, always, you know, Big L, I was a big fan of, like, Jadakiss and all them niggas. You know, DMX, all them, like, real rappers, Jay-Z, Nas. I was a fan of New York hip-hop so much that I wish that I was born there. But since I'm not from there, I have no real interest in visiting, is where I'm at with that shit. You know, it took days. The election was on Tuesday, and it took until Saturday, yesterday, for them to finally announce the winner of the election. And it was a weird few days, you know. A lot of states went red. It looked way closer than it should have been for a couple days, honestly. It was pretty discerning to see so many people, millions. It's like 80% of white men in America voted for Donald Trump. They call this shit the United States of America. I'm in Milwaukee, and this is the most segregated city in America. And so that's like when I went and visited like Denver, just like, I didn't feel like people were too concerned with me, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? That was a shock to me, to be in America, to be somewhere here, and people weren't concerned with me. You probably don't even understand what I'm saying. Like walking down the street and white people aren't crossing the street when they see me. Walking down the street and white people are saying hello to me. They weren't concerned with me being there. And that's not my normal black experience. People are usually on alert when I'm around, which I don't know. It's just that's why I would go to Denver so much, because for most part, where I would be in Denver, I wasn't, treated as something that. It's like a situation pretty much everywhere you go is my black experience. Everywhere I go, you're a situation that needs to be monitored until it's over with. But not in Denver. I didn't get that vibe. Never got that vibe in Denver. I was just like, well, where the niggas at? Why am I the only black person around? Where are all the niggas? This one white girl at the dispensary was like, you gotta head to Aurora. I was like, nigga, what? And then I went and got a haircut in Aurora. Because that's where the niggas were, in Aurora. But nah, man, it's crazy, A lot of states went red. It's pretty scary. But even as it got pretty obvious that Joe was going to win, Trump's like, I'm suing this state, I'm suing that state. You niggas need to stop counting over there. You niggas need to keep counting over there. Like, this shit was all over the place. He's just claiming fraud all over the place. He was saying, like, I bet like 4,000 Biden votes are just gonna show up in Michigan. And he's just throwing out these random ass fucking claims. Nigga I don't think he ever conceded. I'm pretty sure he didn't. Kanye conceded. Kanye got about, I think I saw that Kanye got over 60,000 votes. And he wasn't even on the ballot in most places. Which caused me to look up. I was like, how many votes did Harambe get? And apparently the reports that he got up to, they said it was from 11,000 to 15,000 was kind of bullshit. Because, those would have been write-in ballots, and they were saying that fucking number wouldn't have been so readily available like it was. So, there was, no proof that Harambe had even gotten all these votes, but niggas put that out there, so that's the story that everybody heard. But yeah, he got about 60,000 votes. You know what's crazy is I didn't know that former professional wrestler Jesse Ventura, former governor of Minnesota, was running for president this whole time. I had no idea until I clicked on Alaska on the map for the election results, and it was it showed me the percentage that Jesse Ventura was getting. I was like, what? This nigga was running for president the whole time, and I've never heard anything about it. I'm like, dude, if Trump got elected off of the fucking Apprentice, the show The Apprentice, have you guys ever seen this show, Conspiracy Theory? It's fucking amazing, all right? It's fucking amazing. If Trump can get one term off of The Apprentice, I feel like Ventura can get 2 terms off Conspiracy Theory. You're actually fucking entertained with Conspiracy Theory. I was like, what? You niggas ain't tell me Ventura, Jesse the Body, was out here running for president, former governor, and niggas ain't tell nobody. It was all kind of candidates I was seeing. When you click through them states, it's so many names that were like, that would pop up on the ballot in other states that weren't here for my black ass. They weren't here for my black ass. Niggas should have voted for Ye. No, I didn't vote for Ye. I'm glad we didn't vote for Ye this time. But maybe next time. Maybe next time. You know who's a clown? As far as like, I mean, it's a lot of people I thought were clowns with this whole election situation. Well, just a lot of shit like recently. Are clowns, man. But you got like Jorge Masvidal, who I try to tell you niggas, like, he's not a man of the people. He's it's crazy. I saw his TikTok the other day. It was like some stand-up bit where the person was talking about how it's crazy how Cubans who come here illegally, like, the second their feet dry, they become super conservative. Like, just they vote not vote, but they support everything that's Republican. Like, we can't have any immigrants coming over here. Where are we going to put them? Like, was the joke or whatever. And it's like, that's where I was like, when I said this whole thing about Masvidal or even Michelle Watterson and they support Donald Trump. And it's like, dude, Masvidal, your father is a Cuban immigrant that came over here on a tiny makeshift raft in order to save you guys' lives, you know what I'm saying? Give you guys a chance. And it's, I don't know, it just seems fucking crazy. Oh my God. Oh man, he's been posting Jorge Masvidal. What did he say? He was like, when is okay, so he posted a picture of the Al Gore winning Florida and them stealing Florida from Al Gore. And he's like, history 101. Damn, they're taking some of, like, by the time I'm here, like, they've taken some of the stuff down. I saw that Twitter had some, like, just blue, it'd be like, this claim is blah, 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 like, oh yeah, it said, like, learn how voting is safe. Like, he's posting, like, mail-in ballots were part of a plot to deny Lincoln re-election in 1864. And Twitter puts over that post, learn how voting by mail is safe. So, like, a lot of his shit, it's, like, being taken down, it seems like. He's like, the media state has declared Joe Biden the president. I wonder when Trump gonna drop the hammer to fix the scorecard. He had some other posts. I forget what it was. He had something else here, but that's been taken down by Twitter. It says, this claim about election fraud is disputed. Twitter's all over these fucking claims. He's just throwing out all this shit. Here's a post that Masvidal retweeted with the hashtag Math101. I have a master's degree in mathematical modeling. He's not wrong. There are too many statistical improbabilities for what we're seeing to be naturally occurring. He is, Jorge Masvidal, your guy, Street Judas, is just going on these rants about how the election is rigged, the mail-in ballots are voter fraud. And this is the guy you guys love. Like, you guys love Jorge. As far as MMA fans are concerned, you guys fucking love that guy. I felt some type of way with how he spoke about Ben Askren. Just because, like, as a guy from Wisconsin, and I know that Ben Askren has, like, the wrestling school, and he does a lot for a lot of the children, a lot of the youth here in Wisconsin, in my community. So when I would hear him say a lot of the shit he was saying about Askren, it rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I bought his fucking T-shirt, the 2-piece and a soda, after he punched Leon Edwards. Like, I bought it, like, right away. He was wearing that T-shirt on the Ariel Helwani shirt, like, the next day or so. And right away, I bought that shit. And then he started saying all this crazy shit about Askren. And right away, I was like, fuck, I wish I hadn't purchased this shirt. And But it, like, maybe 2 months later, it finally came in the mail. But, and then once he started going on all these pro-Trump rants and just, I don't know, it was weird because, I don't know, it's just, that's your boy. We're finally done. Fuck that dude. I don't think he's ever conceded. He's still talking about suing states, so I don't think he will ever accept. I don't think he still has accepted the fact that he lost, though. My wife told me she saw something about there was moving trucks already outside of the White House. He's still president for like another 2 months, but apparently he's already moving out. Good riddance to that nigga. So Joe Biden was officially declared Saturday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, what I believe we need to do, we need to hang on to those receipts, ladies and gentlemen. We can't just be like, oh shit, we got Trump out of office and now let's get back to our lives. It's not the case. What we do from here is we hold on to the receipts of everything, all that shit Joe was saying, all that shit Kamala was saying. We hold on to those receipts and we make sure they do that and then some. You know, if you said you were going to do a job, like if you were filling out a job application and it said, or it was like an assessment and it said, do you like to, like at work, do you like to just do what's expected or do you like to go above and beyond? And if you say like just what's expected, that's not a good answer. You would want somebody who is expected to do more. So we need to hang on to these receipts from Joe Biden and make sure that these things are done. We need to see how he's handling this coronavirus crisis. I mean, apparently, if you talk to the conservatives, it's already over. They're saying as soon as the election's over, it's just going to disappear. So I'm just reading an article about how the shit's surging through nursing homes. But apparently, it's going to disappear. It's going to magically disappear. I told y'all about the nigga I was working with. We were managers at that fucking store. And he said to me, I didn't understand it at the time, but he was like, nobody wants to bring up that this is an election year. And I didn't understand at the time just what the fuck he was trying to say to me. You know what I'm saying? He's like, nobody wants to bring up that it's an election year. And I was like, oh, okay. But he's one of those fools that doesn't believe that this is a real thing. One of those fools. I know somebody who told me, like she has lupus, you know what I'm saying? She's always sick, always in and out of the hospital. She said she's had coronavirus twice. She said COVID twice already. You know, she's been hospitalized twice by the time that I spoke to her back in August. But it's just not real. It's not real to some people, you know? So we're going to need to hold Biden accountable. He said that right away on January 20th, he's got a team of experts that are going to take over this coronavirus, just going to take over how we're, the task force. He's got a task force ready, and they're going to start right away, day one, January 20th, is what he's saying. We got to hold them to this, and if not, if they go back on these promises, man, we got to hold them accountable. If they go back, we have to turn out for third-party candidates. We have to turn out for a third-party option, and we got to put our vote to that third-party option, because at that point, that's how you enact change. You can't repeatedly say the system's broken. Like, the system's not broken. I forget the brother that said this shit, but the system's not broken. The system it works exactly how it's set up to work. We need to break the fucking system. We need a new system, a new order. You know what I'm saying? It's not that the system's fucking broken. The system works exactly how it's designed to work. I think we should move on. Should we move on? Let's move on. UFC here. I didn't really, so it was some decent fights, but I didn't really care too much for the card. Other than the main event, I was pretty interested in the main event. And I wanted to see Brendan Allen take on Ian Heinisch, but that fight got scrapped 2 hours before the card, apparently. Somebody tested. I didn't see which one tested positive, but somebody tested positive for COVID. This nigga Max Griffin looked pretty good. I think he got a knockout. He got third round knockout. He looks pretty good. Gustavo Lopez at bantamweight got a real good. He fucking just was all over this guy in the first fight of the card. He was all over him, just domination. So be on the lookout for that Gustavo Lopez. That guy was sick. There were some decent fights on the card. Alexander Romanov submitted Marcos Rogero de Lima with this forearm choke. It was a blood choke. And it's like, with the blood chokes, the way blood chokes apply, you just apply this pressure in a way that most people, they don't even realize that they should be defending or trying to get away from these chokes until all of a sudden you feel it. But by that point, you're about to be choked out, and you just, pretty much all you can do at that point is panic. And that's what happened there. Apparently, this guy's got multiple submissions, victories with that choke, and he got it there. Alexander Romanov choked this man out in the first round. It was fucking beautiful. Choked him unconscious. Main event, you had, oh wait, no, we're not gonna go there yet. We're not gonna go there yet. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about some of these fights, but now that I'm looking at it and I'm being reminded. So you had Claudia Gadelha, who took on Yan Xiaonan. Yan Xiaonan, before this fight, was trying to say that she's more of a champion than Zhang Weili, who is the champion. And if you look at this fight that she had that went to a third round decision, went all 5 rounds with Claudia Gadelha, it was pretty back and forth. I felt like the fight could have went to either one. So, like, you're saying you're a better fighter or whatever. You represent more of a champion than Zhang. Zhang's out here fucking beating ass, all right? She's a world beater. I think she'd fucking destroy Yan. But they're already trying to talk Yan up as being the number one contender simply because they're both Chinese. I believe Yan Xiaonan is Chinese, which I felt like, damn, that was like crazy disrespectful. Yeah, even this article right here, Weili Zhang could have new title challenger and fellow China native Yan Xiaonan. She didn't look that good, but they're already putting the narrative out there just because they're both Chinese. But Yan looked bad, and she'd get her ass beat if she fought. I think it'd be a first round stoppage if she fought Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili's on another level. She's on a higher level than most of these women. Like, I don't know if she's up there with Valentina, but she may be a couple notches before, and Valentina's like 15 notches above the next good person in that weight class, in a couple weight classes. So, like, I don't know if she's at Valentina. Like, if Valentina's like 15 notches above everybody, like, then maybe Zhang is like 8 notches above those same people. But not that far from Valentina, but not there yet. You know? That's how I feel about that. So they're trying to feed Yan to Zhang Weili simply because they're both Chinese, but I think that's a bad move. But why not? They fight. It's the fight business. So why not? Put her in there and let her get her ass beat, and we can move on. All right? Claudia Gadelha is basically gatekeeper at this point. You beat Claudia Gadelha, it means you're good enough for a title shot. I think that's pretty much what would have happened with Angela Hill. Angela Overkill Hill, had she won that fight, which I think she did win the fight, but the judges scored it the other way for whatever reason. But I think had she won that fight, they would have been talking about putting her up there for a belt. I think she should have beat Michelle Watterson, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on, you had Giga Chikadze, who knocks out or wins by TKO against Jamie Simmons out of Milwaukee, training in Pura Vida. I was made aware of that a couple hours before the fight. I was like, oh, let me check him out. And then I looked at some videos. I'm like, all right, he's okay, but Giga Chikadze is a monster, man. He's a savage in there. And sure enough, he got the early stoppage. So I'd like to see Jamie Simmons bounce back, you know. But I felt like Jamie Simmons was making his UFC debut out of Milwaukee, out of Pura Vida. Not a lot of fighters, not a lot of crazy good fighters out of Pura Vida. You got like Otto or whatever, Jeff Otto, whoever the guy is that runs the gym, he just got cut. But I was watching him lose fight after fight. You had Leah Letson, who fights over there. Possibly Ode Osborne fights over there, who I like Ode Osborne. But I don't know. I feel like that was a lot for his debut to fight Giga Chikadze, who's trying to fight for the 5th time in 2020 after that complete domination again. So shout out to Giga, and I'd like to see Jamie Simmons bounce back. In the main event, you had Glover Teixeira taking on Thiago Santos. Damn, I kind of, because I'm looking at this and I was like, I thought it was a second round stoppage. Like the first round started and then Thiago came at Glover with this blitz, hit him with some strikes, hurt him a little bit, and then like it went to the ground and Glover reversed position and was dominating him. And I think in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, Glover just like kind of took him down and was controlling him, beating him up on the ground, and almost got in the rear naked in the second. But thankfully, because there's only like 10 seconds left, Thiago held on and didn't get choked out. But that shit was in there deep. And it was like, yo, if they go back to the ground, it's over. So third round comes, and Thiago comes at him with another blitz, hurts Glover, and he's trying to go for the finish, like, but somehow Glover just reverses position, starts beating that ass, and fucking chokes him out right there in the third round. Glover's a fucking problem. And if you guys they're gonna give Israel Adesanya the shot against Jan Blachowicz next. I mean, they already announced that clearly, but dude, fucking Glover Teixeira is a monster. I thought, foolishly, I guess, but when he fought John Jones, I thought he was going to knock out John Jones, man. John Jones came in there and did his thing. John Jones does this thing sometimes to people where he gets your arm in a certain way. When he has you in the clinch, he'll get your arm, you'll try to pull away, and he'll keep your arms in tight, and then he'll bend them upwards, just like fucking up the ligaments in your fucking arm. It's a pretty dirty move, but he's done it to a few people. Glover Teixeira is one example of that. And once he does that, he kind of like really fucks up your use of that arm, and that's what happened. I thought he was going to knock out John Jones. John Jones did that move where he fucked up the tendons in his fucking arm, and his arm was pretty much useless at that point. So, but I think even if they do give the next shot to Israel Adesanya, whoever comes out of that fight, I mean, Glover needs to be fighting for the belt next. I don't think he needs to fight Dominic Reyes or anybody to prove. I think he's just proven by dominant, pretty much, like it was almost a back and forth fight between Glover and Thiago, but at the same time, it was a complete domination from Glover. So I think he's the clear number one contender, seeing as Thiago was the number one ranked contender coming in here. So he doesn't need to fight anybody else. But let's say if Israel comes in there and beats Jan Blachowicz, do I see Israel Adesanya staying at 205 defending that belt? I don't think so. I think he wants to fight John Jones after that fight. So you'd have to put Glover versus Jan Blachowicz for the vacant belt probably right after that. So we'll see what happens. But I think Glover deserves the shot right now. There's nothing that warrants putting Jan versus Israel. I feel like Jan should at least have one title defense before there's like a super fight with another champion. That's just me. But he just won this belt like a week ago. And now he's having a super fight with another champion. That seems like a lot. Next week, in the main event, you have Islam Makhachev taking on Rafael Dos Anjos. 5-round main event. I just watched Islam Makhachev fight Arman Tsarukyan, and I've spoken about Arman Tsarukyan on this podcast. Like, I fucking think Arman Tsarukyan is one of the next best things, is one of the next big things in this division, the 155-pound division. He's a beast, but I honestly had never, if I had seen this fight, I didn't pay attention to it like I just did now. And it was Arman Tsarukyan versus Islam Makhachev, and Jesus, that was a great fucking fight. They never fucking slowed down, just constant wrestling, constant throwing, just non-stop action. It was a great fucking fight. If you haven't seen Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan, they just put it on YouTube. I would check that fight out because that shit's fucking amazing. But I wasn't super hyped for this fight, but after watching that fight on YouTube, I'm like, ooh, this fight between Islam and Rafael Dos Anjos is about to be great. They also just uploaded Dos Anjos versus Kevin Lee at welterweight. But, like, yeah, I feel like Kevin Lee was actually successful with his grappling in that fight. And the only difference here is that Islam is not going to gas out in the way. Like, right away in that first round, I was just like, because I was like, do I need to watch this Kevin Lee fight? I just seen this, like, I saw it happen live. Like, I wasn't there, nigga, of course. I was watching from my home. And I've seen the fight. So I was like, let me just watch it again. And it's like right away in the first round, like before, like halfway through the first round, fucking Kevin Lee is like gassed. Like in the first round, he's like halfway through it. He's got Dos Anjos' back. He's got him up against the fence, and he's just fucking breathing hard out of his mouth already. And I'm like, that's not going to be the case with Islam Makhachev. He's going to keep going for takedown. And he's not going to get tired. He didn't get tired at all versus that Tsarukyan. In that Tsarukyan fight, and like Tsarukyan just got like slightly tired in the third round, and that's like pretty much what gave Makhachev the edge for the decision in there. But like, those boys were going at it. Makhachev's not going to get tired against Dos Anjos. So that's going to be a fucking... Dos Anjos, former champion at 155. He's just a beast. You guys, if you're an MMA fan, you know Rafael Dos Anjos. You know his credentials. He's a beast. He beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis when Anthony Pettis looked unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? He beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis. So this is going to be a fucking great fight. I'm feeling like the co-main event, Abdul Razak Al Hassan versus Kalen Williams, that's going to be a pretty good fight. I think it's some really good fights on this card next week. You guys should not miss this card. If you're an MMA fan, you got Eric, your boy Anders, taking on Antonio Arroyo. That's going to be a good fight. I'm really interested at welterweight. You got Daniel Rodriguez taking on Brian Bam Bam Barberena. That's going to be a great fucking fight at welterweight. There's some good fights next week. Dude, you guys do not want to miss this card. I don't know what time it starts, but November 14th is going to be a great card. At women's strawweight, you got newcomer Kay Hansen taking on Corey McKenna. They've both just had one fight apiece in the UFC. I'm a fan of both ladies. I would love it if they didn't fight each other right now. Like, they're both like too upcoming. If I'm not mistaken, they're both fucking 21. I think when Corey fought in her debut, she was just 20 years old. Or maybe it was the same for both ladies, but they're both 21. They're both 5'2", coming in fighting at 115. Kay Hansen has the reach advantage. She's a reach of 63 inches, and Corey McKenna is at 58.5 inches. So Kay Hansen has the reach advantage there. I'm not sure who has. I know Kay Hansen is known for her jiu-jitsu. She idolized Ronda Rousey, which is crazy because, like, didn't that just happen? How'd you grow up idolizing Ronda Rousey? Like, but it's like she's fucking 21 and, like, I'm fucking 30, you know? So, yeah, didn't it just happen? I don't know. I was watching Ronda Rousey maybe 10 years ago or some shit like that. So when she was, like, 10, she was watching fucking Ronda Rousey, getting inspired. Now she's living that dream. Yeah, some good fights going over here. You got Reese McKee coming back. If you guys don't remember, Reese McKee recently fought. He got fed to Khamzat Chimaev, but Reese McKee had a lot of hype before that fight, and they thought he was going to actually he's going to present a significant challenge to Khamzat, but that was not the case. But he's fighting Alex Morono, and I'm real interested in that fight. You got Jose Quinones taking on Luis Smolka. That's going to be a fucking cracker. That's going to be cracker. Dontel Mays taking on Rock Martinez. Dude, this is a fucking card. Dude, didn't Rock just fight? Didn't he just fight like a week or two ago? No, I'm wrong. I'm thinking of he actually fought Romanov, who he actually fucking probably got him with that fucking same forearm choke. They said Romanov's got 5 forearm chokes in the UFC, like he did. And I'm thinking Rock Martinez was probably one of those guys. But it's going to be a good card next week, ladies and gentlemen. Real good card next week. I'm excited. And then, of course, after that, you've got the great Valentina Shevchenko, who's 15 levels above these ladies, taking on Jennifer Maia. She defends her belt against Jennifer Maia. It's pay-per-view 2 weeks from now. And in the main event, you got Davison Figueiredo taking on Alex Perez. I don't even know who the fuck that is, to be honest with you guys. But he's getting a title shot. I think I would rather have seen... They got Brandon Royval taking on Brandon Moreno, which I would imagine that's number one contenders fight. But I would have rather have seen either of those two fight Davison Figueiredo in the main event. But whatever. We got that. You got Joaquin Buckley, who did that amazing spin-around kick, heel kick to the face a few weeks back. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting card. What I just saw, actually, I didn't see it announced. Apparently, they announced this yesterday. Kevin Holland, actually, is stepping in to face Jack Hermanson December 5th. Apparently, Darren Till is out of that bout with an undisclosed injury. So he will be replaced by Kevin Holland. And when I first looked at it, I shared it on the Facebook page. I was like, shit, is this too soon for Kevin Holland? Like, who's going to be the Joker at the end of this, you know? And I was thinking, like, fuck, we're going to need to see a much more serious Kevin Holland than we've ever seen. And then I was thinking, like, but is this safe to say that, like, this is Kevin Holland's toughest challenge? And I said absolutely not. Because I was thinking, like, Kevin Holland fought Thiago Santos, who we just saw fight last night in a losing effort, but Thiago Santos is a fucking monster. And he went a full 3 rounds with Thiago Santos. And I go and look at Thiago Santos, And I see that Thiago Santos has knocked out Jack Hermanson. He knocked out Jack Hermanson in the first round. And MMA math isn't a thing, all right, that you need to fucking pay attention to. But if he can not be finished by a fucking savage as Thiago Santos, I'm pretty sure that was Kevin Holland's UFC debut was against Thiago Santos. And he went on 5 rounds. So I don't think this fight here will be his toughest fight to challenge, but I would like to see him just a little more serious in there one of these days. But, yeah, I was going to use it. There's a phrase I hear from time to time that I hate it. I hate most hood phrases, like, that people just mindlessly repeat. So I was going to just throw it out here, but I was figuring, let me explain it because I'm annoyed by it. But the phrase, I'm not going to hold you no longer. That phrase is fucking, I don't know, people just say shit like that or whatever the cool phrase is at that moment. I remember at the time niggas was like, oh, you got a whole baby in the car. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Like, everybody was just talking like that for a little while. You got a whole baby in the car. You got a whole baby. Nigga, just, like, throw that whole nonsense out of here, all right? Throw that whole nonsense out of here. So I'm not going to hold you niggas no longer. I think some shit like that is silly. Like, I hear, like, niggas will say less. Because another nigga said say less, so now everybody's saying say less. It's like, I don't know, it's fucking weird. Just talk however you want to talk. But I'm going to go ahead and give you niggas social media. If you want to follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod, where I do most of my tweeting and posting. If you want to follow this personal account on my personal account on Instagram and Twitter, it's at my name's Jermaine. You can email this podcast at Babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to this podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Deezer, nigga, pretty much anywhere podcast stream. I said Deezer at the end there, but I'm not sure. I just threw that in there. I don't even know. I think Deezer is probably just music. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know anybody that uses Deezer. If you use Deezer to listen to this, let me know. I'm sorry for making you feel some type of way by saying that. If you niggas got Xbox, go ahead and add a brother. My gamer tag is SauceBoss414. You can watch me play with myself at twitch.tv/Babylon5. If you niggas feel so obliged, go ahead and check out the merchandise. Go to teespring.com/store/BOFpod-shop. Don't be my Negro, be my patron. Go to patreon.com/Babylon5Pod, where you can listen to this podcast, this episode, early. Sunday, every week, I will upload this podcast Sunday. So you get early access to the podcast before the 9 a.m. post that usually, the other day, I think maybe Podbean was a little fucked up. But I had it set at 9 o'clock, and all of a sudden it was like 8:10, and I'm looking like it had already been like posted and shared everywhere. I was like, whoa, why is this out yet? I had it set on 9 o'clock, but it was like the day after daylight savings or some shit like that, and it posted everything early. But if you want this, you can get this a little bit early. Go to patreon.com, be my patrons, Don't be my Negro, be my patron. If you niggas is on if you niggas is on TikTok, go ahead and add this podcast at Babylon5Podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I'm going to get up out of here. It's a shorter episode today, Shorter episode. Why not? Oh, you know what I didn't talk about? I kind of glazed over this. Islam Makhachev. He said this nasty shit. And I was like, I'm not going to just pass over on this shit. I'm excited to see Islam Makhachev fight Rafael Dos Anjos next week. Don't get me wrong. But the thing that I thought was pretty gross was it was highlighted that this nigga tweeted after Weili Zhang fought Joanna Jacek in what people have called the fight of the year, one of the greatest women's fights of all time. People have called that like the greatest women's MMA fight of all time. And he tweeted right after that, this isn't a woman's sport. So, like, we're not going to gloss over those disgusting statements by Islam Makhachev. And that's why I was trying to highlight, just like, you got a lot of women here. I didn't mention all of them, like Randa Marcos is fighting. You got Ashley Yoder taking on Miranda Granger. You got a lot of good women fighting on this card. And I wonder, like, if any of them are aware of these disgusting comments from Makhachev. They probably wouldn't want to fight on a Makhachev headlined card. I mean, from what I've heard, there's similar statements like that from Khabib. So, I don't know. I mean, they're all from the same camp, but that's pretty gross. Somebody should have told him, like, bro, don't ever say some shit like that again. Or ever. Delete that shit immediately. But, like, I don't know. He needs to address that at some point. That's just where I am with that. I'm just glad I looked over that. I wanted to mention that because that was pretty gross. But, yeah. It's Babylon 5 Podcast, episode 64. Yes, she can. I'm your boy, Jermaine Event. Get up out of here. Take care of yourselves and others. Peace.